Anyway, you asked for $25 minimum wage. You get first fully automated McDonald's in Texas.
People of TikTok, the way we McDonald's may be changing forever. Check this out.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell swing.
Who's making the burgers?
Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle.
You want to know more? Head on over to my Instagram.
Cook's not automated. So what's up? Are they going to take the additional profits that they're going to be making off of the automation process and like give it to the fucking chefs? How nice. Oh, just kidding. That's not how this works. Haha, clearly. One of the funniest parts about this, first of all, like, of course, the people that are making the burgers are probably still going to be making the burgers. They're still going to be getting fucking paid nothing. Someone's going to be feeding the machine belt. You know what I mean? It's not like fully automated. That's bullshit. Mostly just a gimmick. But the irony, of course, is that, like, bro, what is it? If your job isn't, like, fucking posting dumbass memes and, like, you know, sexually assaulting women at every fucking right-wing media operation that you work at, like Elijah Schaffer, so what? Like, you know, you don't deserve a $25 minimum wage? Like, what's happening? I don't get it. I just truly do not understand this. It's like, what's up? I don't get it. Like, you're a worker, dumbass. It's not like you fucking own capital. Shut the fuck up. Once again, I have no issue with automation. I have no issue with artificial intelligence and automation, except I do think that robot overlords will inevitably wipe us all out. However, what I do have an issue with is, as I've talked about time and time again, distribution of profit, or the existence of profit, if you will, or how profit gets distributed, or what profit is, depending on where you are on the spectrum of, like, teetering on the edge of socialism or whatever, okay? Because the reality is, phones, fucking the internet, computers have made us infinitely more productive as workers. It has turned our work hours into a 24/7 process pretty much because we're constantly accessible. Now, having said that, okay, our output is significantly higher. Oh, we were talking about McDonald's and automation.
TikTok,
Okay.
the way we McDonald's.
I have no issue with automation. Okay. I have no issue with automation whatsoever. All right. I think automation is great. Automation has made our lives easier. Automation improves efficiency. Okay. Automation improves productivity. However, the way that our current economic organization of society works is that productivity and the gains given, the gains that are received from that efficiency, that increased productivity, is unfortunately not distributed evenly to all of the workers that are currently in that workplace that have created the conditions for said automation to come in. You work really fucking hard. Your company takes a percentage of your surplus labor and they turn that back around and they pump that into automation, okay? They automate the process. And then they turn around and fire you. Instead of saying, hey, now you can make the same amount of money, okay? However, you can make the same amount of money and we can make more burgers and you can work less hours because robots will take care of it. Instead of saying that, they say, all right, fuck off. You're fucking fired, bitch. You're replaceable. You've now been replaced by a robot. And this shit is, unfortunately, a problem. It turns something that is good for humanity overall into something that is bad for humanity overall. Especially when you consider that the profit rate has a tendency to fall, no matter what happens, okay? It's constantly trying to squeeze a rock for as much water as you possibly can get out of it. And the more that happens, the more you see stuff like this, okay? Did you know that this is a news story? They updated a pre-existing location? I don't know. But what I do know is that, your food, no more attitude at the counter. McDonald's new fully automated restaurant, which is completely run by machines, leaves internet divided. But do you think it's a good idea? Of course, Daily Mail, no more attitude at the counter. Like, I worked here in August, November in White Settlement, Texas, is a new store. Okay. Yeah, the same person who loves automation at this restaurant also loves going to Chick-fil-A because the young workers say my pleasure to them. Yeah, I mean, look, ultimately, I think like cleaning the toilets with robots and making like all this menial labor that is hard to accomplish. Having all of that be done by robots is a good thing overall. But ultimately, what needs to happen on top of that, why are you guys saying white settlement law? That's a real... Anyway, my point is, automation is a good thing. It's just bad under capitalism, because capitalism has a tendency to fucking take good things and turn it into bad things for you, okay? And what a lot of people don't understand, when they are like celebrating this kind of accomplishment and saying, oh, it's so sick, fuck the people that are like being mean to me or annoying to me when I'm, belligerent at fucking 3 a.m. trying to get a burger. What they don't realize is like you are in the same boat as them, and your job could very easily be replaced by machines in a similar capacity. Holy fuck. There is no such thing as labor that is worthless, okay? All labor provides value, and therefore there is no value without labor, and therefore all labor is valuable, okay? It doesn't matter. We should not be judging labor off of how replaceable it is. We should be judging labor off of what the output is, okay? And that output is increased by automation, and that automation should be cherished if the profits, or at least the amount of time that you're spending at that fucking workplace, is shared with the robots. But unfortunately, it's not. Okay? This is a huge part of the problem. It's a huge part of the problem. I just hate how these losers claim anyone at McDonald's in Texas is making $25 an hour. Yeah, like there's no one that is working at that McDonald's. The manager's not making $25 an hour. What the fuck are they talking about? Anyway. But of course, the kiosk is where you order the food, and that part is automated. It's a machine. It ironically takes a longer time to order on those things than it is to like order with a human being. Okay? But what is also fucking laughable about this is that, there's still people working. It's not like robots are making the fucking burgers. And I'm willing to bet that it's not like those employees that are working back there in the closed off kitchen space where people can't see. Those guys are getting paid more now. You know what I mean? A kiosk has never messed up my order. First of all, that can absolutely still happen because, again, human beings are on the back end, and also a human coded it. There are so many components in this McDonald's that is not automated because it can't be automated. The delivery mechanism that is bringing in those cold fucking patties, okay, that part is not automated. The actual fucking kitchen is not automated. Anyway, got to say, it worked really well, Foodie Monster said. While your food will be cooked by real people, you won't have to interact with them at all because they'll be tucked away in the kitchen. Like, this is so gross, dude. This is so fucking gross, dude. Wage productivity gap. The value gained from automation gets sucked up by capitalists, which means the elimination of wage work in our society is violence, not liberation. No, but the elimination of wage work in our society is liberation. And ultimately, that contradiction is going to get to a point where, like, we either have to literally do a UBI system, okay, or there will be violence, inevitably. If you automate all these fucking jobs, okay, if you automate all these fucking jobs and then people have nothing to do, and they're, like, increasingly selling their bodies into slavery, okay, or pretty much like, neo-feudalist servants or tech overlords. And that's basically what we've done with like Uber Eats, and that's basically what we've done with like the delivery drivers for grocery shopping and shit like that, which of course is not necessarily a sustainable business model anyway. Without like unlimited free money coming in from, profoundly low interest rates, because we don't have that any longer. So a lot of these fucking big tech giants are going to get absolutely cumstered as they have been so far. It's inevitably something's got to give. The TikTok creator's video quickly went viral, getting more than 1 million views. Some were all for the idea, with one viewer writing, "Finally, my order will be quick and accurate." Another agreed, "Awesome, no more attitude at the counter. Maybe my order will finally be right," someone else said. While a fourth comment read, "Love it, no attitudes, crankiness, or incompetence as it moves to the other parts of dining. No tips." But others weren't into the concept, with one person pointing out that there's no one there to help you if there's a problem with your order. That's it? That's the only thing you can see from this? God, we're so... Dude, capitalist realism. That's it. That literally is it. First of all, who the fuck is tipping at McDonald's? I don't think there is a tipping area in McDonald's. That's number one. And number two, a lot of people don't care about labor because they fancy themselves to be like small business tyrants when they're not. They're also workers. But it is so profoundly successful, this idea that, like, you know, you lord over that person, and you're paying for that, actually. You're paying for their service, so you can lord over that person for, like, the 15 seconds that you're interacting with them. It is so, like, deeply baked into our very core as Americans, or, like, especially Westerners in the Western world, for the most part, that, like, we have no concept of analyzing this from the perspective of, like, what this means for labor. You yourself are a worker, okay? Most of the time, you're a fucking worker too. And you can't comprehend that this move can happen to you as well. It's so crazy. There is no working class solidarity. It's so sad. And if they forget an item, who's supposed to tell the robot? No thanks. I love the people that work there. I want to hear voices and see faces. I want to see smiles at both windows. Will not go. So no more smiles. Soon enough, we're going to be those people in Wall-E. Do you know how easy it will be to steal food from the window now? Wow, the future seems scary to me. It's lazy. It looks dead inside. This will put so many people out of work. I'm not for it. This would be good under collective ownership, but it's an existential threat to workers, as they will be left to the wind. As the owners have wanted all along, no more class tension, just machines. I agree. But never forget, these aren't fucking, you know, these are machines. They're not like turnkey and you know, just turn it on and then just fire and forget. Okay? There's got to be workers that are controlling the machines. There's going to be workers that are doing the upkeep and the maintenance on the machines. There's always going to be human beings that touch this, okay? There's always going to be labor. It's just that the labor pool is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and easier to control, easier to dominate, and easier to exploit. Okay? That's it. Because if all of the supposedly easier to do jobs, like the entry-level jobs, right, that are super replaceable, right? If all of those jobs are unavailable, people are going to be fighting over one another tooth and nail to maintain the smaller percentage of labor that is available to them. However, in the end, and by the way, a fucking bearded man, a bearded, balding, nasty man by the name of Karl Marx literally talked about pretty much all of this shit, okay? Like pretty much all of this shit, every single part of this. Very long time ago. Ultimately, when you have a smaller pool of labor, when you have a smaller pool of fucking actual workers, if everything is automated, how the fuck are you making money? If you don't have money, how the fuck do you buy the food? Who's going to buy the McDonald's food? If everyone is starving in the fucking streets, who will have money to buy the food, even at McDonald's? Yeah, that's true, actually. Marx wasn't even the first. Even the classical economists like Smith believed in the labor theory of value. Marx kind of stole from him a little bit, you know what I mean? Kind of jacked his steez a little bit, but, you know, we'll let him have that. But ultimately, yeah, this is not a unique concept. This is just something that everybody kind of understands, and yet nobody talks about, because God forbid you talk about it, because if you talk about it, then like, holy fuck, you know, people might recognize their class position. There might be a little bit of class consciousness, and then, oh my God, what if there's a revolt or an uprising? Holy fuck. What if there's a little bit of organizing behind this kind of thing? Oh no, dude, that would be absolutely fucking awful. It's just weird. It is really weird to think about, though, that like we are basically in an endless feedback loop where we are like fucking celebrating our downfall as a society. You know what I mean? Like human beings that look at this and go, oh man, this shit's fire. Finally, fuck those people that work there. I hope they fucking die. Those people are like completely oblivious to what this means about their position as well. What this means about them. Because ultimately, it's still done in order to increase profit margins. And what's happening there is no different than your manager telling you have to fucking come into work when you're sick, okay? That's done, so the profit margins are intact in the exact same capacity. It's no different. You might think, oh, my job will never get automated, but you're already getting fucked over in a similar fashion because you have no autonomy. Okay? We think alienation, in its very obvious, we think alienation only occurs when you can understand it like an Indonesian child working in a fucking factory sewing Nike shoes that they will never be able to purchase, right? Like, that's not the only form of alienation. You see it here in America as well. And it's happening in a more and more obvious way. The modern world resembles the 1600s a lot, like Ice Age and ruling class unable to react to the changing world, leading to the collapse of feudalism. Also, everyone thought the world was about to end and Jesus was coming back. I mean, they always think the world is ending and Jesus is coming back. That's not an old thing. That's not even a new thing. That's just a thing. Hello, I'm an auto technician. I can't afford the shit I fucking work on, lol. Exactly. That's a bad example. No, it's not. That's not a bad example. An auto mechanic should be able to fucking purchase a car that he can work on. That is literally right on the money. That is the perfect example. Motherfucker, you just said Henry Ford knew. What do you mean? He was right about that. Henry Ford, wrong on a lot of stuff, okay? Kind of an anti-Semite. Big time fascist, okay? Definitely correct on the one issue where he said, I want my workers to be able to buy the fucking cars. He said he can afford a car, not the expensive ones. Do you know? Do you know how much money the auto mechanic is making? What the fuck's wrong with you? Why did you just literally fucking say, oh, he can afford a car, just not the expensive ones? Do you know? Do you know how much money he has? Do you know how much he has to pay in rent? You don't know. You just made that up. And the worst part about that is that American capital is so profoundly powerful that people don't recognize that the guy who builds houses can't afford his own, okay? The guy who works on cars can't afford one. That is literally happening within even the labor aristocracy. That is benefiting from third world exploitation. That is benefiting from imperialism. Even when you're living in the imperial core, you have the same fucking issues. And that is at a higher level, albeit, sure, okay, and better conditions overall, sure. But ultimately, that is literally the reason why it is an international workers' movement, okay? And it's not just a workers here should be able to uplift themselves, but nowhere else, especially on the backs of third world exploitation. Sam Bankman-Fried looks like the kid who was in your high school class freshman year, left halfway through the year, and you heard he was being homeschooled. That's a good one. Anyway, this does frustrate me, though. Seeing people fucking celebrate this shit, seeing people praise this. It's not workers of the world unite, it's workers of your municipality unite. I work in data for a company who thinks Excel is the state of the art, so I've automated my job with coding and work 4 hours a week to get paid 40 hours with no intention to let them know I've increased my productivity. That's awesome. Don't you think it's easier to move away to a different society if the majority of labor is getting automated away? The majority of labor has been getting automated away every single fucking day. Do you feel like things are getting a little bit better? You feel like things are getting a little bit better because you have amenities, okay? You can buy a TV for cheap, okay? All that outsourced labor, the manufacturing that moved overseas has made, these commodities that you can purchase really fucking cheap. Meanwhile, your issues are still here, okay? There's so much poverty. There's so much destruction that's happening even in the wealthiest nation on earth. And you're relatively oblivious to that because, again, you can get a fucking burger. You can have the burger be delivered to your home by a servant, and you just don't really think about it. You don't think about your dead-end job where you're getting fucked over, you know? Because at least you can lord over a servant for a little bit, for like 3.5 seconds. I highly doubt they'll be able to automate my job as a landscape architect. Every job can be automated, dude. Look at fucking Chat GPT and shit. They can automate streamers. They're going to start automating that too. You know what I mean? Obviously, no matter what happens, they're not going to be able to automate the top of the hour ad break, which comes at the top of every hour, or the delicious segue debates, okay? Or automate the great feeling that I have when I successfully land one. You know what I mean? They can't do that. They can't take that away from me, at least for now, even though you guys try your fucking